Right now, it's the finals of the women's open 800-meter run. You see the world and American record holders. Mary Slaney set the American record in 1985. Let's take a look at some of the competitors. Julie Jenkins, who grew up on a ranch in Utah, and a great comeback story. She almost quit running in April, back here in the 800-meter finals. Meredith Rainey, born in Brooklyn, graduate of Harvard, the top-ranked American last year. And Joetta Clark, two-time U.S. champion. Her husband, Joe, the controversial educator from New Jersey, the subject of the movie Lean on Me. Her dad, Joe, is the controversial educator who was the subject of that movie on the cover of Time magazine as well a few years ago. Here are the lane assignments for the 800 meters.
Keep your eye also on lane 7, Jasmin Jones. After the semifinal, she was the most upbeat, said the heat was no problem. She's confident she could be the sleeper here.
And there is Julie Jenkins. She was the young lady hit by a van at the U.S. Championships in New York City last year. They took her to the hospital. She eventually came back and made the final in the 800 meters, but faded badly in that race and wound up 8th.
Had to have surgery, and it's been a long road back after yesterday's semifinal. She was frank about things. She said, "I'm hurting." Her back didn't bother her. That's where the problems have been. Her upper legs are very tight.
Julie Jenkins beginning the race in lane 2.
This is a very even race. As you mentioned, Meredith Rainey, the #1 ranked runner a year ago. Joetta Clark, a great veteran, age 29. A great entrepreneur as well, has several businesses, does motivational speaking. But she gave up all that to move down to Gainesville, Florida. Her brother is her coach. J.J. Clark used to run for Villanova.
Joetta, originally from South Orange, New Jersey, University of Tennessee, and now Gainesville, Florida. And a false start in the women's 800-meter event. A little unusual to see a false start in an 800-meter race.
Well, normally you wouldn't think that anyone would really care that much exactly how their start went, but interestingly enough, Meredith Rainey, who ran very hard in yesterday's semifinal, was asked, "Why did you do that? Why did you run so hard?" She said, "I was running for a good lane." Now, normally you hear people talk about that in a 400 meters or 400-meter hurdles, 100 meters. You normally don't hear about that in an 800, but some people, and I will say I was one of them, like to have a good start even in a middle distance race just so they can be in the position they want to be in. Several of the runners who included in that would be Meredith Rainey, have an exact position they want to be in when they come off this first turn.
And a clean start this time. And Meredith Rainey in lane 3. Julie Jenkins alongside. Jenkins goes out pretty quickly now. And Elisa Hill running quickly as they get set to break over from the lanes down the back stretch. And it is Elisa Hill who began in lane 6 that leads the pack down the back stretch.
Elisa Hill was the silver medalist at the Pan American Games and in this event, and the gold medalist in the 1500 meters. Some people were surprised that she chose to run the 800 meters here. She said she thinks she has an equal chance to make the team in both events.
And Celeste Halliday over, challenging with Elisa Hill and Julie Jenkins as they come through the home stretch for the first time.
Halliday over just missed making the World Championship team a year ago, and she's been running very aggressively in the first 2 rounds. She told me she's not going to let anyone else dictate her race, and she feels her race is to take the lead. 58 seconds at the 400 meters. That's a good clip.
Celeste Halliday over, leading the race with Elisa Hill there, Julie Jenkins, and Meredith Rainey. It's still Celeste Halliday over in front. Elisa Hill trying to hold second with Julie Jenkins coming up. Meredith Rainey is also in there. She is now trying to hold off Joetta Clark in the all-black uniform as they approach the turn for the home stretch.
Meredith Rainey, number 100, often gets into tactical trouble in races, but she has an outstanding finishing kick. Her coach, Guy Cottrell, said she's faster than she's ever been and ready to sprint down the home stretch.
Halliday over, still in front. Meredith Rainey is taken second. Julie Jenkins is third. And coming up in the black is Joetta Clark. 4 across the track down the home stretch. Joetta Clark on the outside now takes command. Julie Jenkins on the inside, and Meredith Rainey is there as well. Coming for the finish. And it will be Joetta Clark with that big closing kick. Came up on the outside with Julie Jenkins and Meredith also qualifying for the Olympic team.
A personal best for Joetta Clark at age 29. Obviously taking time off from her various ventures and going down to Gainesville was the right move for her. An intense competitor and a scientific trainer. She measured out her speed just right. In the middle of the screen, number 100, it's Meredith Rainey, who's the old sprinter who normally can charge down the home stretch. But going right by her was Joetta Clark. Great experience. She was winning races in Madison Square Garden as a 15-year-old, and she looks better than ever. This is an excellent closing charge, the kind of finish that will give her a chance to medal in Barcelona.
Joetta Clark, impressive race with a big closing kick to take the victory in the women's 800-meter final. A victory lap for Joetta Clark. We'll return.
Run it was, Joetta. Very impressive stretch run for you. How did you feel coming down the stretch despite this heat?
I felt great. Straight away. This has been a hard year for everyone involved. I'd like to thank the coaches and my doctors and my family for being supportive.
One of the things we have to do here, we get a chance to chat with your dad. You must be one of the proudest fathers in the stadium right this minute.
Yes, I'm absolutely ecstatic. Very pleased with her determination, her pertinacity, good coaching by her coach here, Clayback, and my son, JJ. It all worked for the best. I'm excited about this achievement.
I can't resist telling you, did you ever tell her to lean on me?
Absolutely. In the time of an exigency, lean on me. Absolutely.
Happy Father's Day.
Congratulations to you. Tom?
All right, Todd Christensen, Joetta Clark, impressive in her victory in the women's 800-meter final. Joetta Clark, 158.47. Jenkins and Rainey also qualify for the U.S. Olympic team.